Breaking news, Iran has fired 2 ballistic missiles at the world's most powerful military base, Diego Garcia. But friends, surprisingly, even knowing that its longest-range ballistic missile cannot even reach this island, then why did Iran still fire these 2 ballistic missiles toward Diego Garcia Island? A remote island in the Indian Ocean, which is jointly operated by the military of the UK and the US. Now think about this. This island is approximately 3,800 kilometers away from Iran. No missile or even drone of Iran can reach this island. The Diego Garcia military base is considered a launch pad for American bomber aircraft. This island has been used for decades in Middle Eastern wars and is still being used today. Whoever controls this base has military access to half the world. Out of these 2 ballistic missiles fired by Iran, one falls into the water mid-air due to its range ending, while the second one is targeted and destroyed by an American warship. If Iran's missiles cannot even reach this distance, then why was this attack carried out? Because friends, this was not for destruction, but a message. A warning for the United States and Britain that even their most remote islands are not safe, and Iran can attack them as well.
Iran has responded to Trump's threat that he will destroy their power plants if they do not open up the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours of his post. They're signaling that they are not going to do that, and they're going to call Trump's bluff on this, which is very dangerous at this point. They're saying if Trump moves and strikes their power plants, that they will then go and strike the allies in the region in the Middle East, their desalination plants, their power plants, and their IT facilities. So guys, this is very serious. I'm sure the Middle Eastern countries are urging Trump to back off of this because his threat is also a nuclear threat, because the second largest power plant in Iran is the Bashir power plant. It's a nuclear power plant built by Russia. And just several days ago, there was a strike conducted that hit nearby, and a projectile landed within 300 or 400 meters of the nuclear reactor there. And Russia is calling for a safety island around the nuclear power plant there. Guys, if that thing is hit, we'll have nuclear fallout throughout every country within the Middle East. We don't even know how bad this will be. The Bashir power plant sits on the Persian Gulf. So guys, this could be a huge, major disaster. This is a nuclear threat Trump has issued, whether he actually realized it or not. So this needs to be taken very seriously, and the response from Iran needs to be taken seriously, and hopefully this can be de-escalated here soon. That's what needs to happen. Let Trump know, make your voices heard, comment what you think, like, share, spread the word, follow, subscribe, and I'll see you back here for the 411.
Trump has issued an ultimatum that if Iran doesn't open up the Straits of Hormuz in the next 48 hours, America will go after Iran's power generation capability. But is that threat credible? So Iran has over 400 power generation facilities. The main 4 are shown here on the map. Now, America said it would target the largest of these. Most of these are gas-fired. They can run also on diesel, but their primary aim is to generate electricity for Iran. Now, while there's no doubt that America has the military might to be able to target some, if not all, of Iran's power generation capability, the real issue is what will Iran do in retaliation, because it's got a track record of retaliating to these sorts of attacks. Israel has regularly attacked Iran, for example, attacking Iran's energy infrastructure, most recently the South Pars gas field. Almost immediately, Iran responded by attacking Qatar's big gas field as well. When Israel attacked Iran's nuclear facilities and that almost certainly prompted Iran to attack Israel's nuclear facilities. So if America was to go after Iran's power generation capability, it's almost certain that Iran would retaliate in a similar vein, but rather than attacking America's facilities, it would attack Middle East oil, gas reserves as well. And that would be catastrophic for the region. So this threat, whilst it's no doubt that America can attack and damage Iran's power generation capability, the consequences for the West, particularly America, would be devastating. It is also worth remembering that in 2024, the International Criminal Court issued arrest warrants for Russia's defense minister because Russia was consistently targeting the Ukrainian energy infrastructure. That is illegal under international law. Now, although America isn't a signatory to the International Criminal Court, there's no doubt that that doesn't make a targeting of civilian infrastructure any more acceptable.
Donald Trump just gave Iran a 48-hour ultimatum stating that they need to reopen the Strait of Hormuz or face major consequences. In his own words, he stated Iran must fully reopen the Strait of Hormuz without threats, or the United States will strike and destroy Iranian power plants, beginning with the largest facility. And this came in response to Iran's military command that America must close all U.S. bases in the Middle East, full compensation for damages from the U.S. and Israel action, and ironclad guaranteed against any future attacks. Once Trump made this threat, Iran responded with this. It says, any attack on its fuel and energy site will trigger strikes on U.S. and allied energy, information technology, and desalination facility throughout the GCC as well as Israel. So I will put the news, you decide what to think. Follow for more No Propaganda News.
Iran has carried out a missile attack on a place called Dimona in Israel, which is only about 13 kilometers away from Israel's most important and largest nuclear facility. An Israeli firefighter said that he saw many Iron Dome missiles being launched in front of his eyes to stop the Iranian missile. However, none of them were able to stop it, and the Iranian missile hit the area around Dimona. You have to understand the geography. The southern part of Israel is mostly desert, known as the Negev Desert. The town of Dimona is located in this desert, and nearby is the Dimona nuclear facility. It is believed that Israel stores its nuclear weapons at this facility. Israel is the only country in the world considered an undeclared nuclear power. This means Israel has never officially confirmed whether it has nuclear weapons, but the world widely believes that it does. The nuclear facility is said to have been built with help from France, and it is believed that Israel started developing nuclear weapons there after the 1960s. In the early days, Israel even claimed that there was no nuclear plant there and said it was just a small factory in Dimona. Israel is very sensitive about this facility. In one case, a worker who was employed there was given a prison sentence because he revealed some of the facility's secrets to the public.
We have some news this evening. Iran is responding to Donald Trump's threat to bomb Iran's power plants. According to Iranian state media, Iran says if Donald Trump goes through with this threat and bombs our power plants, okay, we're going to go and bomb desalination plants throughout the region. We're going to go bomb energy infrastructure throughout the region in the Gulf and other Arab states and in Israel, and essentially threatening to plunge the entire region into darkness. Now, we don't know whether this is just a threat, right, or if Iran actually has the capability to do any of this. But it does come as, despite saying that we obliterated Iran's nuclear program, and then despite saying that we total victory, the United States has won, it seems as though this war, again, is escalating, not de-escalating in any way, shape, or form. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. As always, spread the word and follow along, stay up to date on all the news you need to know about. There'll be more to come.
Well, this is not good at all. Trump is now resorting to threats to Iran regarding how desperate the U.S. position has gotten. He says that if Iran doesn't fully open without threat the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours from this exact point in time, which was 5 minutes ago, so around 4:45 p.m., the United States of America will hit and obliterate their various power plants, starting with the biggest one first, which would be very dangerous for the citizens of Iran, as you know. And then he ended it saying, "Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump." Obviously, the citizens of Iran rely on that power for life-saving equipment, for air conditioning, I'm sure, for anything, really. And the fact that he's threatening this is pretty severe. So it's, in my opinion, a sign that he is getting desperate because things are not going according to plan. And I think we can all agree that things are not going according to plan.
Director Gabbard, you said that North Korea has intercontinental ballistic missiles that can reach the homeland. Yet, the Defense Department said that Iran was at least 10 years away. Which one is a more serious threat, North Korea or Iran? That's my point. It's not just about having the capability of building a weapon. It's if they can actually deliver that weapon. We haven't heard that they were weeks away. We haven't heard that they're months away. That's what we're waiting for. Imminent, to me, means is that they're mobilizing troops. They're moving things into position. But everything that we've heard is that this is not the case.
Breaking news, it is 8:05 p.m., March 21st, 2026, and there are details coming out about a possible U.S. and Iran deal. Now, while this is not directly related to the war, it may help the war to stop. Now, the U.S. is hinting there's room to negotiate on Iran's frozen money. Now, the person that wrote this said they're not calling it reparations, more like just giving back what's already Iran's. And I want y'all to see the actual statement from the U.S. official on this matter. Now, the U.S. official is saying that Iran's calling it reparations. Maybe we call it a return of frozen money. These are two separate issues, but they relate to the present day war. Now, as some of y'all may know, throughout the years, the United States and its allies has frozen more than $120 billion of Iran's money. And in recent years, we have seen that the United States unfroze around $6 billion worth of this money around the times that the JCPOA negotiations were taking place. And many people were confused. They thought that America was giving aid to Iran or cutting deals with Iran, as the two countries could have possibly been working together, when this was not the case. This was simply the United States returning money that was already meant for Iran. All right. But some people confused the situation and thought that Iran and the United States were working together, two sides of the same coin, when in actuality, no, Iran was returning money that they unjustly froze back to Iran. Now, this deal is also separate from the $500 billion that Iran has requested as a form of compensation over the next 10 years. Okay, so the United States wants the Hormuz reopened. It wants Iran's enriched uranium stockpile gone, and a long-term deal covering nukes, missiles, and regional proxies. So as we have seen, Iran is willing to open up the Strait of Hormuz. Actually, it's not closed, but they are willing to allow ships through the Strait of Hormuz, given that the demands are met. And I covered that video yesterday for those of y'all that want to go see it. They want Iran's enriched uranium stockpile gone. That deal, according to Iranian officials, is already off the table. All right. Now, Iran wants guarantees that the war won't start again, and they want that compensation that I mentioned, the $500 billion over the course of 10 years. Now, if there can be some agreements this week, we may see a witnessing and a de-escalation of the war that is taking place. But so far, Iran has given the United States 30 days to comply with demands, especially to move all of the foreign bases outside of the Middle East and remove Western presence. All right. So let me know what y'all think about this. And thank you all for watching. Follow me for more updates, breaking news, think pieces, and beyond.
I want to begin by just saying we're doing extremely well in Iran. The difference between them and us is they had a navy 2 weeks ago. They have no navy anymore. It's all at the bottom of the sea. 58 ships knocked down in 2 days. And we have the greatest navy anywhere in the world. It's not even close. But we are doing really well. We're not going to let them have nuclear weapons, because if they had them, they'd use them, and we're not going to let that happen. Their leaders are all gone. The next set of leaders are all gone. And the next set of leaders are mostly gone. And now nobody wants to be a leader over there anymore. We're having a hard time. We want to talk to them, and there's nobody to talk to.
Time is ticking after Donald Trump issued an ultimatum to Iran. Open the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours or America will attack their power plants. Iran has responded, saying if that happens, all American information technology and desalination infrastructure will be targeted. Europe is on high alert after Iran launched missiles 4,000 kilometres away, double the distance thought to be possible, proving they could reach London, Paris or Berlin.
Guys, I've actually changed my mind on this whole Iran thing. I think things are going really, really well. I mean, I heard that the US has got aerial dominance over Iran. Yeah, you know, one of their undetectable aircraft, the F-35 that was never meant to be hit, might have been taken out by Iranian air defense, but there's still aerial dominance. The US can do whatever it wants. And, you know, I also heard from Trump and his guys that the Straits of Hormuz is safe. Yeah, there may be a bit of an energy crisis and ships still aren't really going through it, but, you know, everything's fine, right, guys? And I mean, also, I heard really early on that when you just kill bad guys like Khamenei, the leader of Iran, everything's fine. And, like, they killed him 2 weeks ago, and yeah, they're not winning yet, but that doesn't matter. Everything's fine, I swear. And you know, I heard as well from Pete Hegseth and the guys that they've destroyed all of the Iranian launchers. I mean, Iranian launches and missile and drone attacks are going up again, but everything's fine. The US government would not lie to you. You might see videos of Tel Aviv getting hit hard. You might see more videos of the Gulf getting hit, energy facilities, but everything is fine. Just listen to the US government.
So a lot is happening in Iran versus US conflict, and yesterday there was a tweet made by the President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, whereby he told the Iranians, or the leadership of Iran, that if you people are not going to open the Strait of Hormuz, I can honestly tell you, we are going to destroy your plants, okay, energy plants, and we are going to start with the main one. And he gave them an ultimatum of 48 hours. And guys, 48 hours is almost due. It's just a ticking clock, ticking time or ticking clock. So I thought, or rather most of us thought, that Iran will be scared and open the Strait of Hormuz, because that's where 20% of the world's oil passes through, and then it's distributed around the world. Iran told them, man, if you dare destroy our energy plants, we will also come for you, and we are going to start with the main equipments, main technology equipments that you are using. Oh, and that is of course in the bases in Israel. And they did a test today, by the way. Hey, this conflict, it's hard. And even the President Trump himself said that we are trying to reach out to the leaders of Iran to have a talk with them, but there is nobody to talk to. Listen to that statement, guys. It's not easy, because they thought that what they are doing in Iran, it will be like in Afghan, it will be like in Syria, whereby they just do a one-day attack and everything goes down. But here, it's very different, guys. It's now almost day 20, I think so, almost a month of them still actively involved in that conflict. And of course, I can't really say that it's something good, no. So there is nothing much clear about this particular Iran versus America war or conflict, but I can honestly tell you that there is a lot of tensions going on. There's a lot of proxy clashes, a lot of political rhetorics, and all this, they keep things feel really close to the edge. It's like it's real, it's happening. So Americans have come out and aired out their opinion. And of course, for them, they're not for it, because they're even asking themselves, why? How are we involved here? This conflict with Iran, who started? And then who is fighting for? I mean, these things are just crazy. So when people around the world talk about conflicts, most of them, they react in such a way that they tend to escalate things, especially talking about militia attacks, strikes, threats, they escalate. They try to talk about around that, but of course it's not like it has been officially declared. You know, after it has been officially declared, then probably you could start talking about the items that we just mentioned. So a lot of Americans' opinions is that they do not want this conflict at all. A larger percentage of them, by the way, they don't want this conflict to happen because it's affecting them very, very negatively. They're trying to look at Afghan and Iraq, what really happened. They're trying to compare notes. I don't know, it wasn't good at all. Because most of them have this feeling of, oh my God, not again, not again. I'm also there. I wouldn't really want to be seeing my own country being involved in a conflict that the people, the citizens of that place even are defenseless in the first place. So Americans, those who are in the military, they are actually being sent as troops around the world and even there in Iran. And of course, families are stressed out. They are really, really devastated. They feel bad. You could see parents crying when their children were deployed because, you know, if you are deployed, there's no way you can say no in the first place. There is a lot of fear of escalation. You know, people fear that small incidences could actually escalate. And if there is one particular strike and then there is retaliation, you know, that's going to be something very, very bad, and it's going to pose a very negative impact on the citizens of both America and Iran. And these citizens are innocent in the first place. And I will not try to say that they are defenseless again. So a lot of Americans fear, they have the fear of a wider regional conflict involving the allies of America, because, you know, that could also lead to that. And who will suffer at the end of the day? The defenseless citizens. How fair is that? Not fair at all. Of course, opinions are very divided. Some are depending on political views, you know, so we have this side that supports, that side that doesn't support. And if you see some Americans, they're like, you know, America should show strength against Iran. Those are the pro America, pro the administration support of the conflict. And of course, for them, they support, they are happy, very happy when they see that their military are responding with strength and confidence. And of course, we love those who will be like, no, we are anti-conflicts. We just want peace around the world. We want people to love each other. We continue, we live in peace. And you see this group of people, they believe that by America involving herself into these conflicts, they are making things extremely worse. I don't know what you think about that. And also for them, they'll be like, why don't you talk? I mean, it's better diplomacy than this conflict. But remember, the president said that they are trying their level best to ensure that they have a talk with one of the Iranian leader. But the Iranian leaders, on the other end, they are not willing to talk, to sit on the table. Hey, what can we say about that? Economic anxiety is another thing that is finishing the American and the Iranian people. Fuel prices going up. Cost of living going up. And again, if you talk about global trade disruptions, it's happening. And even across the world, gas had gone up. And trade had actually come in. And there is a clip I saw somewhere that America had actually lifted the sanctions on Iran. When you talk about sanction, it's not just a matter of Iran trading with anyone in the world. Remember that the global financial system is being held by, or it's mainly in America. Those are the only people that have the platform that supports, or the core system that supports the global financial system. So when they impose sanctions on you, it means that as much as you cannot do trade with other countries, or probably if you try to force trade with other countries, then where will the payment be made? Because it has to go through America, and that's where the disadvantage comes in. Actually, this global payment system, it used to be owned by Russia like some time back, but I don't know how America took that system. I believe if it was in Russia, we will be trading across the world without any sanction, no matter what you did. So, as you can see, there is a lot of reactions, both in a very positive manner, neutral, negative, name them. But again, in social media, I don't know if you've noticed that some people are really exaggerating these stories. And it's not good at all. So as much as we are watching these clips, let's watch out for those who are over exaggerating. And in terms of military, we are seeing that both sides have very strong military personnel. I don't know what to think about that, but I want to take this opportunity to say thank you so much. Kindly subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next video.